Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining this Bedtime Storytime Live, all about superhero strength and girl power. So excited to have many of you join me all the way from a very secret location in our Justice League Tower. Very excited to meet many of you, and I think many of you are already joining. Hello Liz, so great to see you and to meet you. We have lots of friends joining us. We are hoping more will join, but we will start a story here in just a second. And we have two books we're going to read today that are going to be all about strength and learning a little bit about some of my other superhero heroine friends, and also about some famous women of history, of your history, that you may not maybe already know, or maybe you know a few of them. So we're very excited to have you join us today for this story time. And I want to thank ARTME Party for inviting me to join this story time and send a little bit of strength to those who are maybe suffering in this very hard time, and letting you know that me and all of my Justice League friends and other superhero friends are trying our hardest to keep your world safe. Let's see who else is joining us. Hello, everyone. Hi. So excited you could be here. So, is everyone ready for a story before we start today? I want to make sure that we are all ready and have our listening ears on, and we have our vision on, our supervision, to listen and view a few of these stories. So those of you who are interested in listening, are you ready for a story? And please feel free through your electronic device to join in on the fun. On the electronic computer I have here as well, I can check out your answers and check out your questions, and hopefully I'll be able to answer a few of those here today as well. And before we start, any questions real quick before we have some more friends join us? Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have a few more friends joining, and we are going to start here in just a second with our first superhero book. We're really excited. All right, so let's make sure we have all our communications on. Very good. Like I said, I am coming from a remote secret location. And again, my superhero friends, other than myself right now, are out there trying to keep your world safe. And I know there are a lot of you there doing your job to keep yourselves and your friends safe as well. Shall we turn down our music just a little bit? All right. So, are we ready to start a story today? We're ready. This is going to be our first book today. Again, thank you so much for joining, all of you joining me today for this wonderful Bedtime Storytime Live to read a book. First, a superhero book. Are we ready? All right. Hello. Hi. My first book of girl power. And there's a few of my friends on there. Can you see? Now, you can see myself right here in the center, and I have a few of my other superhero friends, and we're going to learn about them inside this book. Girls are strong and kind. They can do amazing things. And there's another one of my superhero friends. We're going to learn about her too. Have you recognized any other of my friends? And does anybody know what I call my wonderful transportation device that I travel around in every once in a while? Let's see as we go along to learn a little bit more about my friends. So, who's this? I, Wonder Woman, use my golden lasso to get people to tell the truth. So have any of you ever seen my golden lasso? I swing it around, throw it on to evildoers, and they tell me all the truths so I can really get down to the bottom of the problem. So I have my trusty lasso here. Normally it's attached right here to my hip so I can take it on all my adventures and defeat all of those evil villains. Let's see who's next in our superhero story. This is Black Canary. She has a sonic scream. She uses the power of her voice to keep people safe. Have you ever been in a certain situation where you had to yell for help, or had to yell or scream? Hopefully you're not just screaming all the time for your parents at home or right now, but sometimes you definitely need to use your voice to keep others and yourself safe. And Black Canary, that is her superpower, is her sonic scream. This is, can you guess? I bet you know this one. It is Supergirl. She is the only girl left from the planet Krypton. On Earth, she uses her super strength to help fight people. Can those of you watching show me your muscles and use those super muscles and strength to show me? Wonderful. You are so strong. And Supergirl also has a cousin. Does anybody know who Supergirl's cousin is? Can anyone guess? Who is also from the planet Krypton, can also fly, and has super strength. I wonder if you can guess who that is. I bet you can. So this is another from the very front of the book. Can you guess which one of the superheroes this one is? You might know her. It's Batgirl. She is very smart and can program a computer to do anything. Maybe I needed her for the friction we were having with my computer a little bit ago. So she can do anything with her computer, and she's not when she's not protecting. Does anybody know the city she's from? She is from Gotham City. She likes to spend a lot of time reading books because, again, she's very smart, and that's how she got so smart, was reading lots of books. And that can be a superpower in itself. If you don't have super strength like myself or the ability to fly like Superman, Batgirl does not have actual superpowers. She uses her mind and intelligence and creates all these gadgets, just like Batman, to save her city. Lots of things you can do to be super without actual superpowers. This is Bumblebee. She invented a powerful suit that makes it possible for her to fly and to shrink until she is really tiny, just like a bee. That's amazing. That's a power that I do not have, and I think in many situations it would be very useful. So that is her amazing power. And again, she was super smart and used her intelligence, like reading books, to gain that intelligence to create a powerful suit that made her be able to do that. Isn't that amazing? Amazing things you can do, even if you don't have, you know, extraterrestrial powers where you can fly or have super strength. There are so many other things you can do, and if you read books and use your intelligence, you can figure out things to do. And again, like we talked about with Canary, Black Canary, you can use your voice as well as a weapon against evildoers. This is Raven. She uses her magic powers to protect her friends. Amazing. Now, those of you who are watching who are young ones, you may know about a small group that Raven, when she was younger, was a part of. Does anyone know? You might know that Robin, Batman's sidekick, was in this group. Maybe a couple other superheroes like Cyclops. And it was called the Teen Titans. Very cool, huh? So, Hawkgirl can heal herself and other people who have been hurt. So, Hawkgirl reminds me of other people right now who are doing their part to help us in this amazing crisis that that we're all experiencing. Now that I am here, you know, helping save your city, it is something that we hold dear to our hearts. The whole Justice League is all those men and women who are doctors and nurses and working in the hospitals and taking care of people who are sick. Reminds me a lot of Hawkgirl, and they are definitely doing their part. This is Katana. She practices using her swords all the time so she can defend herself and others. She is hardworking and focused. Definitely, if you have discipline, you know, and you practice every day doing those disciplines like any of the superheroes, maybe reading books to grow your intelligence or your fighting skills, and mostly for defense, not always for offense. And those ways and things that you practice, like she does with her swords, will help to grow your own internal superpowers. Like she is Katana, you can stay hardworking and focused. These superheroines work together to make the world a better, safer place. When they help each other, nobody can stop them. Look at all of my, well, me and my superhero and heroine friends. Amazing, right? If we work together, and some of these, like we talked about, don't have super strength or the ability to fly on their own, right? They have used their intelligence to become a superhero and help make the world a safer place. Have you ever thought, what would you do? Or who would you be if you were a superhero? What would your superhero name be? What would you do? Would you already have super strength? Would you be able to fly, teleport, have telekinesis, lots of different abilities? Or would it be something that you would create to give yourself those powers, or to use instead of powers to be able to fight crime, or to learn to create something that you could use another way and become a superhero? And a lot of people, like maybe police officers, firefighters, and again, doctors, nurses, everyone like that, they have years of training and study hard and lots of hard work to be able to do so many amazing things and to save their city and the people that they care about. And that's something that you can do. But it's always fun to pretend now whatever you want to be. Do you want to be a fireman, a doctor, a superhero, police officer? You know, lots of different things. And this book can be a little bit of inspiration to those who aspire to do something really out of this world. So I hope you liked that very first book. Amazing. Thank you so much for listening. We do have another book if you are interested in listening to another one. And this next book will be about some amazing women in, all over the world who throughout history have done some amazing things. So does anyone want to listen to another story? Hopefully you do. I hope so. Well, again, I'm so glad for those of you who are joining me. We're really excited to do another story time tonight. And we are going to hop right into our next book. Let's get ready. Strength to read. Show me your muscles again. Are you ready? And are we ready to see what the next book is? I hope you're excited. This is A is for Awesome. A is for Awesome, and it's 23 iconic women who changed the world. Amazing. I hope you're excited to read, and maybe you have this book at home. Maybe you've never read it before, but I think it's definitely, if you have a young woman in your home, it's a definite to pick up and check out all these amazing women inside. So let's see. So this is Juno. She's going to help us read the story today. Hi, I'm Juno. There's a whole world of aspiring sheroes out there. Here are some of my favorites. Ready for some adventure? Let's go. This is for an awesome aviator. A is for, does anybody know who this is? It is the awesome aviator Amelia Earhart, the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. The stars seemed near enough to touch, and never before have I seen so many. That was a quote from Amelia Earhart. Amazing. So let's see who's going to be next. Did anyone know who Amelia Earhart was? These are, again, 23 iconic women in history. Don't try to lessen yourself for the world. Let the world catch up to you. Does anybody know who this is? I have heard her music played once or twice. B is for Beyonce, singer, songwriter, actress, producer, and all-around Queen Bee. Did anyone know who that was? I think a few of you might have. In order to be irreplaceable, one must always be different. C is for the forever chic. Does anybody know who this is? Stands with C. It's Coco Chanel, designer and OG girl boss. Two amazing, iconic women in history. D is for Dorothy Hodgkin, a crystallographer who won the Nobel Prize for succeeding in the impossible. And a lot of these amazing women, I think, are people who on your electronic devices you can search more and learn more about them, because there is so much more amazing information. Before I read this book to you, I looked through and looked at all the amazing women in here and looked up a little bit about them. And there's just so much, there's too much even to talk about today. So feel free, please, to check out all these amazing 23 iconic women of history and learn more about them, because they're very inspirational. So shall we go to E? We are here not because we are lawbreakers. We are here in our efforts to become lawmakers. E is for the defiant suffragette Emmeline Pankhurst, who helped women with the right to vote. Emmeline Pankhurst, she helped women with the right to vote. So, if some of you, if it's young people that are listening, you may not have known there was just a big voting that happened in the country of the United States. And they, at one point, women could not vote, which I believe isn't right at all. So her work as this amazing defiant suffragette really, like she said, become lawmakers. We are here in our efforts to become lawmakers. She is an amazing, amazing woman, and she knew that it wasn't right that women could not vote. So she stood for what was right, and I think we all should. When anyone tells me I can't do anything, I am just not listening anymore. F is for the flamboyant and fierce FloJo, the fastest woman of all time. So I did look up a little bit about FloJo, and she is an American track and field athlete, and extremely talented and very ambitious and a great role model. So for G, to create one's world in any of the arts takes courage. G is for the groundbreaking artist Georgia O'Keeffe, mother of the modernist art movement. And as you can tell throughout this book so far, we're only to letter G. There are so many different women in this book doing so many different things. And as you could probably tell, none of them have actual superpowers, and they are making a difference. I was the conductor, let's see here. Yes. I was the conductor of the Underground Railroad for 8 years, and I can say that most conductors can't say, I never ran my train off the track, and I never lost a passenger. H is for Harriet Tubman, the brave abolitionist who helped hundreds of slaves to freedom. Now, she is an amazing, amazing woman. If you don't know about Harriet Tubman, if you're not old enough, you will probably learn about her in schooling, but that's someone you should definitely look up and learn more about her and all the things she did for your country. I is for fashion legend Iris Apfel, who proves that your own style is the best style of all. When you don't dress like everybody else, you don't have to think like everybody else. Amazing. Let's see here. What letter are we on? H, I. What letter is next? Does anyone know? Let's check. J. J is for the chief and author Julia Child, the chef and author Julia Child, whose zest for the French cooking inspired millions. Learn from your mistakes, be fearless, and above all, have fun. So I don't know much about cooking necessarily, and especially French cooking, but she seems like she would be quite an amazing flamboyant chef and quite an inspiration. So, courage is when you have a choice, and you have a choice to be courageous. K is for Katharine Graham, the formidable first female publisher of the Washington Post. Amazing. Again, another first. The first female publicist. And you know where I'm come from, we have really focused on women's rights. And the Amazonian women, my sisters, we are extremely strong. And all of these women, I think, would be as strong and as most welcome as an Amazonian, don't you think? Let's see what's next. L is for Lucille Ball, comedic genius and the first woman ever to run a major television studio. So, some of you may have recognized this woman. I have seen her in a few different shows on the television screen. And her show, does anybody know what it was called? feel free to answer, but it was I Love Lucy. And comedic, probably extremely funny. You should definitely check it out. When the whole world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful. M is for Malala, whose rallying cry for equality in education was heard around the world. So Malala, I looked up a little bit about her as well. She's a Pakistani woman, and she really stood up for women's rights and equality and education and all these amazing things. And I think that if you don't know anything about her, which I did not, you should definitely look up more about her. And she does have a very difficult last name that I cannot remember right now, but she goes by her first name mostly in all recordings and things like that. So definitely check her out. Shall we go on to the next one? Thank you so much again for listening. This is a little bit of a long book, but I think it's so inspirational and amazing to learn about each one of these women. I'll tell you what freedom is to me, no fear. N is for the tempestuous and talented Nina Simone, singer, songwriter, and activist. And O is for Oprah, self-made television icon, philanthropist, role model, and the list goes on. I wish you curiosity and confidence, and I wish you ethics and enlightenment. I wish you guts. Both of these women sound extremely talented and extremely strong, especially Oprah, if you haven't heard about her before. I have once or twice. P is for Pat McGrath, makeup maestro and businesswoman. Creativity is the most powerful skill. Don't be scared to experiment. Hopefully we're still on. Okay, good. I am not afraid of anything. Q is for Queen Elizabeth I, whose quick wit, strategy, and tenacity brought a golden age to England. Again another way, but we will continue with our story. And if you have questions that you are commenting, I will try to make sure to answer those, even if it's not going to be live on this video, and especially after this. Who knows how long I'll have before I have to go and help my Justice League friends. So we'll try and keep on as long as we can. All right, R is for Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Supreme Court Justice and the Queen of Dissent. Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. Amazing strong words to follow. And S is for Sacagawea, interpreter, and guide for Lewis and Clark's historic expedition. And again, this girl, Sacagawea, I'm sure if you were in schooling, you will learn a little bit about her. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg is someone in your country, in the United States, is a Supreme Court Justice, I believe, currently. So you can definitely look up more information about her as well. Let us see here. We may be able to get on. I think it's working. I think we're on. So I can see your comments now. Hopefully it might be a little bit delayed, but we're still working on it. Let's see who's next. I believe that if you'll just stand up and go, life will open up for you. T is for the rock and roll superstar Tina Turner, who holds the record for the most concert tickets sold by a single performer. And U is for Ursula K. Le Guin, prolific and prize-winning science fiction author. We read books to find out who we are, what we ourselves are, and may become. That sounds very inspirational. And again, like we're reading books today, she's an author, not unlike an author that wrote and illustrated this book here. And how amazing is that she uses her intelligence to create books and stories. V is for Venus, Roman goddess of love, beauty, and victory. And W is for Wu Zetian, and one and only female emperor in Chinese history. Now, I didn't know much about her as well, and I did look up some history. There are tons of stories, not a ton we can even share here today, but she is quite inspirational to be the first female emperor in Chinese history. Let's see here. And lastly, X, Y, and Z are for extraordinary you and zillions of brilliant, brave adventures, that you will have. That's right, just for you. You are amazing, and you are brilliant and brave. Think of all the adventures you will have and all the amazing things you will do. Again, you don't have to use your superhuman strength, but you can use your intelligence and read and your wit and your mind to create amazing things, just like these 23 iconic women. And that's all of them here. So again, this is a great book to check out. A is for awesome. And I had a great time reading with you today. I hope you all had a great time as well. And I do hope to hopefully see many of you in person, hopefully soon. I know a few of my superhero friends have some events coming up in the month of June that are to be in person. So we have our fingers crossed that you may get to meet some of my superhero friends and some of maybe my princess friends that I have done a few events with before as well. Yes, thank you so much for joining. I see a few more friends getting on as we're getting to the end of our broadcast today, coming here, like I said, from the Justice League Tower. And I am, again, so thankful that I could join you. Hopefully you've gained some intelligence in your mind today. You know, build up those muscles and that strength. Stay strong as long as you can through this pandemic that the whole world is going through. We are in it with you. And from me and my superhero friends, we are here to help as much as we can. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put through in your electronic device and I will try to answer them as much as I can. Again, like I said, I have a few princess friends I have done events with before, and there are a few events coming up next week. We have a wonderful event called Painting with Rapunzel, and we also have a tea party with a princess named Belle, so you can check those out, and if you have any questions you can comment those too. You are so welcome, Liz. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you had a great time. Hopefully I didn't get you too riled up with wanting to be a superhero right before bed, but dream great dreams, you know, think great thoughts, grow your intelligence, build your muscle strength, show me those muscles again. You guys look great. And thank you again for having me on this wonderful story time. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great day. Hope to see you again soon.